after all, the victim just choked on hard-boiled egg.
Well, I guess you could say that case was over easy.
There's no one over there.
We've got another body downtown. Come on. Someone needs to tell all those cops out front to go somewhere.
I guess you could say.
I don't even.
But I wasn't going.
I said don't. Now where's the coroner? She's supposed to be here.
You guys, I think this one's definitely on this side.
Brooks, there you are. I thought you'd gone MIA. Alright, Coop, who's our victim?
Dolores Umbridge, 34. Lover of pink. An anonymous tip was called out early this morning.
Brooks?
So there are 2 wounds through the eyes, all the way to the back of the skull. It could be injury and exit wounds from a bullet, though I'm not sure.
Looks like she was restrained.
That's odd since the place is spotless. The cops said nothing had been touched. Maybe it could be supernatural.
Or the body could have been dumped here at a later time. Can you give us time of death?
Not until I get her back to my lab.
Alright, let's pack up then. Tell the lawyers out front to bring us a body bag.
You guys go on ahead. We're gonna stick around.
Think we missed something?
Nope, just a hunch.
Does he get these hunches often?
Yeah, I guess. They're a little annoying though. He just drops whatever he's doing and doesn't come back.
Are you worried?
Not really. I just wanted to get my job done and I can't really do that when he's not here. Actually, I think that's him now. This is Jackson.
Jackson, this is Cooper. I found something.
What?
You just have to see it.
What do you mean I've just got to see it? Can't you get down to the lab?
No, meet me at the park.
Alright, I'll be there in 15. That was him. I gotta go. Cooper, there you are.
Those neighborhood dogs are fast.
Cheating animals again?
No, I found this. I don't know, it says like new ton.
From the murderer?
I guess so.
Newton.
You mean as a scientist?
I suppose so. Why? Do you see a connection?
Well, Newton made notable contributions to the field of optics.
Which means that...
The victim's eyes were targeted, and that our eyes are connected to optics.
What do you mean by optics, exactly?
Oh, well, you know, like real images are upside down and virtual images are right side up. That kind of thing. Snell's law. The sine of the angle of incident is constant to the angle of refraction when the light ray passes from one index to the other. The index of refraction is the speed of light through different substances. Polarized lenses filter light through certain vibrations, the kind they use in sunglasses. Get out! Get out of my lab!
We're not even in your lab.
Go educate yourselves!
So...
Good gracious, that's audacious!
What?
So I found some stuff about refraction and diffraction.
Oh, me too. Something about bending or spreading waves around an obstacle?
Yeah, that's diffraction. Refraction is when waves bend due to a change in speed.
Huh. Okay, so different lenses let you see light differently, right?
Yeah, like if you have like a convex lens and you put an object in front of the focal point of that image, it will be a virtual image.
Huh. I guess it looks like it's the same with the concave lens too.
Yeah, like for a real image, the object has to be beyond the focal point of a concave lens.
And 2 times beyond the focal point for convex.
This doesn't make any sense how Brooks remembers all this.
I don't know, man. Like, how convex mirrors and concave lenses somehow have negative focal lengths? How does that even work? How can it be negative? Think we know enough to be let into the lab, though?
I hope so. This doing homework stuff is ridiculous.
Right? Oh, God, I'm not doing any more research.
The physicist has struck again!
What?
The guy, the killer, the Newton guy, he killed again. Isn't this exciting?
Okay.
Well, guys, you know what this means. We have ourselves a serial killer.
Here, look, the cops dug him up. The physicist did it.
Darwin. He's not a physicist.
Nobody cares.
Didn't you say that these guys were dug up?
Yep.
Where?
Oh, the cops must have filled in the hole.
How? How could they have gotten grass to grow over it again so fast? And why? They buried all that evidence with it.
Nobody cares.
Fine, alright, whatever. Just get them back to the lab, Brooks. Cooper and I, we're gonna get a sample and ID them. This is Jackson.
I found a pattern.
What do you mean? How can there be a pattern already? There's only been 3 victims.
It's those little cards he leaves behind. That's the pattern. With Dolores, it said Newton, right? And Newton studied optics. Well, her eyes were ruined. And get this, he used a high-powered laser and a series of lenses to do it.
And how do you know all of this again?
I am a professional. Now, be quiet and let me finish. This time around, he stuck those 2 girls...
Sam and Dean Winchester.
Yeah, and left behind a card that said Darwin. Well, guess how they died?
Evolution? I don't see how the changing of a gene pool over time has anything to do with this.
I told you to hush, and he used parasites, like a ton of them. He must have planted them in the bodies. In order to come to his conclusion on evolution, Darwin had to study organisms. And these girls were literally killed with organisms.
That's actually rather disgusting.
Right? Well, anyways, that's my guess. It's up to you and Cooper to figure out how to catch the killer.
No worries, we'll get him. Looks like we've got a real psycho on our hands.
Well, I could have told you that.
Cooper. Alright, what do you know about parasites?
Parasites? Well, I know parasitism is one of several forms of biological interaction.
Okay, Coop, let's hear you be smart for once.
Hey, I resent that.
Just tell me what you know.
Fine. Parasitism is when one organism benefits from harming another. Mutualism is the same thing, only both are benefited. And commensalism is when one organism is benefited while the other is unaffected. This kind of biological interaction reduces predation because reasons.
Reasons such as...
Since parasites don't directly eat the host, it limits predation and limits competition. If you have another organism doing work for you, then you're more likely to survive than other organisms.
Well, that was... insightful.
You asked for it.
Yeah, I suppose I did. Okay, well that's good and all, but somehow we need to be able to tie this back to our murder.
Maybe he's using natural selection.
As in killing off the weak so the strong can survive? Somehow, I don't think that applies to murder.
It's not always about the strong that survive. Sometimes it's the intelligent.
Sure, but that's still like a natural thing, right? Humans can't cause natural selection.
Wrong. Humans created pesticides. How do you think pesticide-resistant bugs came about? When we started using them, it killed off all the bugs, but the ones that survived were able to reproduce and make babies.
I see your point.
So maybe our killer deemed these people as defective.
As much as that might make sense, there's no evidence for it.
Then I'll find it. Back to the crime scene.
Alright, you do that. I'm gonna go find Brooks.
who's a cute dead body? You are. Yes, you are. Oh, hey.
Hey, I came to see if you had any more information on the two Winchesters.
I do.
Go on.
Oh, well, you know how I said they had parasites?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I took those parasites and I sent them over to the creepy bug place guys, and they identified them for me. They said that this particular species usually attack plants, like big trees and stuff, and said it was really odd for them to be found in human tissue.
Is there a big difference between animal and plant tissue?
You uneducated swine! Wait, right there. Okay, so these two make up the tissue of animals, and this one makes up plants. Prokaryotes make up all the organisms in the kingdom of Protista and Archaea, and eukaryotes make up animals, plants, and fungi. Because these cell types are different, the kind of parasites that they prey on are going to be different too. Do you understand now? It's like how viruses and bacteria are different. One is simple and one is complex. You know, besides the fact that viruses aren't really alive and everything.
I think so, but why are they different again? My high school days just aren't coming back to me.
Eukaryotes have nuclei, and other organelles like ribosomes and mitochondria. Prokaryotes have primitive versions of those, like the nucleoid region, capsules, and flagella. As for plant cells, they're just specialized with large vacuoles to hold water, cell walls to hold structure, and chloroplast, of course, where photosynthesis takes place. You do know what that is, don't you?
Of course, I'm not that dumb. Photosynthesis is when a plant takes in oxygen, sunlight, and water and transforms it into a form of energy it can use, in this case, glucose.
And what about cellular respiration?
What about it? Does that have anything to do with our case?
No, I'm just testing your intelligence. Answer the question.
Okay. Cellular respiration is like backwards photosynthesis. The plant takes glucose and makes ATP, water, and oxygen out of it.
You might be defective.
Excuse me?
Nothing. Anyways, these little parasites of ours are gonna be a problem.
Yeah, sure. Because they're not supposed to have human hosts, right? So what were they doing in the victims' bodies?
Ding ding ding, that's the $1 million question. I have absolutely no clue. Bug Guy took some samples and said that they would try to figure it out. I think we're definitely onto something with our Darwin theory though. I think our killer toyed with the DNA somehow, which is essential to evolution.
Helps with the natural selection process, right?
When DNA gets transcribed, the mutations get passed along through mRNA, which gets translated to tRNA through ribosomes. The mutation can spread throughout the entire body.
Science. Guess we just have to wait for the Bug Boys and Cooper to get back then.
I brought pizza.
Ew, do you know how unhealthy that stuff is?
We're working overtime on this case. I don't think we have much time for fine dining.
Still, do you know what they do to that when they cook it? They sublimate it.
I don't think they turn pizza from a solid to a gas.
They solidify it?
I don't think they turn a pizza from a solid to a solid.
They melt it?
I've never seen liquid pizza, have you?
They condense it.
Well, I guess cooking could be a form of condensing.
Shut up, Oliver. I give up. Whatever.
Wait, what?
I said I give up. I've been working all night. Come on.
No, before that.
Shut up?
No, you said my first name. How do you know my first name?
You're kidding me, right? Cooper, we've been partners for 2 years.
So, I've never told you my name.
Yes, you have. It's Oliver, and your middle name is Andrew, and your favorite color is red, and you grew up in Virginia.
Stalker!
I'm your partner.
And I don't know your first name.
It's Ava. My first name is Ava.
How was I supposed to know?
We're partners! I'm done. I'm going home.
Did you know her name was Ava?
Yeah, and I also know that she uses coconut scented shampoo and she has little fishies on her shower curtain. But no, not even that now. I got results back from the Bug Guys and big news.
Can't believe he wanted me to research for him all night, and then he doesn't even have the audacity to remember my name. 2 years! Remember, for 2 years. Whatever, I'm going to sleep.
Jackson, this is important. We have to... Why are you in pajamas in the middle of the day?
Because I was trying to get some sleep. Pulled an all-nighter.
Well, anyways, Brooks found some important information. We have to get back to the office.
Alright, I'll be ready in 20.
Alright, I'll just come inside then.
I have been expecting you.
Yes, what's so important that you had to call me out of bed for?
Well, we have information on our little parasites.
And will this help lead to our killer?
Absolutely. You know how I said that our parasites usually attack plants?
What about it?
Our parasites secrete acid that dissolves their surroundings so they can absorb it.
That sounds really painful.
It is, but that isn't how our victims died.
Are you sure it was an acid? A base could have the same effect on the body.
Positive, it has a pH of 2, and on the pH scale, anything under a 7 is an acid, like lemons, limes, and car batteries. Anything above a 7 is a base, like sink and oven cleaners and bleach.
Acids are sour and bases are bitter, right? Acid turns litmus paper red and bases turn it blue.
So, exactly, yes.
Yeah, but how does this help us?
Well, it lets us know how our victim died.
I don't see how a change in pH can kill somebody.
Well, it can. Hold on. Okay, guys. Periodic table of elements. Okay, so alkali metals, alkaline earth metals, transition metals, halogens, and noble gases which don't react to anything. It goes from groups 1 through 18. Group 1 has a +1 charge, 2 + 2, 13 + 3, 14 ± 4, 15 - 3, 16 - 2, and 17 - 1. Okay, so let's just pretend for a second that our acid is an element. It can't be, but let's, for argument's sake, say it's oxygen. And so you end up with something like this, a chemical reaction. In this case, you end up with a new substance, lithium oxide. In the case of our plant and our parasite, you end up with a substance digestible by the parasite. Now, when you put this in a human body and you start messing with something as chemically sophisticated as a human body, and you throw in acids and stuff, you end up with the loss of life. Make sense?
Hold on, that's not balanced. There's 2 lithiums over there.
No. That's charges. It's balanced. Now, if there were more than 2 lithiums here, as in this, that's where the 2 comes from. If there were more, then yes, that would be unbalanced. But this is balanced. Okay?
So the acid dissolves in the blood and that's what changes the pH?
So what does all of this mean?
That means that he works here.
I don't like how...
Yeah, I know, you hate my truck because it's small. Can we just shut up about it already? That's not what you were gonna say, was it?
No. I was going to say that I don't like how Brooks isn't telling us any more about our killer.
Oh, that? Well, I figured that was just Brooks being... well, Brooks.
Well, yeah, I get that she's odd and all, but she's kind of impeding our investigation.
Is it really, though? She told us that the killer worked in the office.
Yeah, well, that's all she told us. No explanations, no reasoning, nothing.
Jackson, we're here.
It's squishy.
Well, considering she drowned, I can understand why.
Wrong.
Well, that's a little shocking.
Right. No. He's just right about the shocking bit. She was electrocuted.
How do you know?
No, the water's still charged. If you fall in, it might hurt a bit. He must have used something with a high voltage, like a cattle prod, modified. That's why I'm using a wood stick to poke it. Installation.
And it was the physicist?
Well, I still haven't found the card.
Found it!
Oh, that was fast!
Anyone know a column?
Let me see it. Yeah, he worked with electricity and circuits and stuff. The unit for an electric charge is actually named after him. Let's put it home.
See, I told you she was electrocuted.
So, according to your theory, the physicist stole high voltage equipment from the lab because he works there, right?
I'll be able to tell you more later. Y'all do y'all's investigation thing. I'm gonna take this little lady back to my place.
You do mean your lab, right? Not your house.
Of course, silly. Can I get the lovely couple some drinks?
Brooks?
Is that something alcoholic? Because we don't serve alcohol here.
Yeah, well, can I get a Dr. Pepper?
Yeah, I'll take one too.
Alright, I'll be right back.
You saw that too, right?
Yeah, but I mean, it can't be Brooks. She just texted me.
Does it say she's disguised as a waitress at some restaurant or something?
No, it says she finished her examination. And she was right. Rory Pond, the victim, was electrocuted.
Electricity sounds like a really painful way to die.
It is. The electric field would be fairly small, limited to just the pool, but the force of such high voltage would be horrible.
Electric field?
A region around a or series of charged particles. Don't you know anything? I mean, charges get quantized in certain sizes. Conductors, like metal, carry those charges, but inductors block them by grabbing the charge.
And static is an electric charge that is accumulated on an object.
Are you sure you're not Brooks?
Whoa, what the hell happened to your hair?
Family reunion.
Well, that explains everything.
You didn't let me finish. Family reunion, nephew decided to take a razor to my head, and this was the only thing to do, unless I wanted to go bald.
And what about your clothes?
What about them?
I don't know, they're not really dressed for work.
It's Casual Friday, Coop.
We have that?
Yes. Now if you're done playing 20 questions, maybe you can tell me about what's been happening while I'm gone.
Yeah, Brooks has been doing some electricity stuff. And I've been researching and I found a few suspects that work here. But other than that, this is gonna be my last day here. I'm quitting.
What? Why?
I just feel like we shouldn't be partners anymore.
So you're just gonna quit entirely?
Well, you know, I've saved up money and I figure maybe I'll retire early, live on a nice beach house, get married, have a few kids.
You hate kids.
Well, maybe I don't anymore.
At least finish this case with me, Coop.
Fine. Go find Brooke. She said she wanted to see you.
In the lab?
Yeah, I think she's been sleeping in there. It's really creepy.
Yeah, a little bit. Oh, there you are. So Coop was right. You have been sleeping in here next to the dead body. Why not on the floor? Probably be more sanitary.
Ah, you're back! And yes, next to the dead body. She needed company. And should I ask about the hair?
Nephew and a razor. That's all I'm gonna say.
Ah.
So, Coop said you were doing something with electricity.
Yes, but not anymore.
Did you find any new suspects? Get clues on our murder weapon?
Ah, yes, actually. I narrowed it down to a couple things. Since I know that the killer works here, I'm fairly positive it's a microwave.
How do you know?
Because their microwave in our lounge is missing.
Does that even have enough volts to kill someone?
Actually, volts don't kill, or voltage rather. Volts are just a form of measurements. Currents do, which is volts divided by resistance.
You know what I meant. What's resistance?
Resistance is the tendency for material to resist the flow of a current.
Okay, so now what?
Now you go interrogate our suspects.
So you take one, I take the other?
Alright. Let's do this. Why did you kill them?
Wait, what?
Why did you kill them?
Killed who?
You're the physicist, aren't you?
That guy your unit's trying to catch? Why would it be me?
You stole our microwave.
You're not making any sense.
From our lounge!
What are you drawing?
Circuits.
Can I see? So you know about this stuff then, huh?
I work in the physics department, so yeah.
Can you tell me about it?
Well, this is the power source, these are the wires, and the light bulbs represent whatever you'd want to power.
Is that all?
Well, when you turn on the power source, the electrons go from negative to positive. Well, unless you leave the wires alive and the electrons just go everywhere.
All right, I think I've been here.
Wait. You keep your case kind of loose, so here are my alibis.
Okay.
Get anything?
I'm not even sure. What about you?
Nope, nothing.
Switch?
Alright. You're the physicist. I'm not getting much on Irene Adler. I don't think she's a physicist.
I got plenty from her during our interrogation. She totally screams homicidal maniac yet highly intelligent scientist.
But is any of this really evidence? Like what is this?
This is a parallel circuit. And this, series circuit.
Is there a difference?
Yeah. A series circuit, the voltage is divided among the nodes differently. And since there's only one pathway that the current can flow through, every component carries the same current. That's why if only one bulb in a series of Christmas lights go out, all of them go out. Also, the resistance of a series circuit can be found by adding up the individual resistance of each resistor, which is not the same as parallel. In parallel, the current is dispersed amongst each resistor, meaning that each component has the same amount of voltage in it. And for resistance, it's found by adding together the reciprocals of each resistor.
I'm guessing ER doesn't stand for emergency room then?
No, equivalent resistance.
I know that. That's the total resistance of a circuit, correct?
Yeah. Now what about this word?
I can't even pronounce it.
Capacitance.
Oh, I know about capacitance. That's when a body is able to hold an electric charge. If it's able to do that, then it's considered to have capacitance and is known as capacitor. In parallel circuits, they commonly use complex series of capacitors, where positively charged capacitors are connected to the input, and negatively charged ones are connected to the output. In series circuits, they directly connect the positively charged one to the negatively charged one in a series or line.
Now, what have we here?
It looks like a diary of some sorts.
More like a journal, I would think. Maybe she... Hold on. Hello? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes, sir. Mm-hmm. Alright, I understand. Thank you.
Who's that?
Dr. Hugh.
As in the director of our department? What did he want?
Irene Adler was just found dead. There was a card on her chest.
But all this physics stuff.
Couldn't have been her. It's the last entry in that journal.
She was hunting down the physicist.
That's what I thought. We need to find Brooks and see if she has the body.
She should be in her lab.
Let's go. She's not here.
Thanks, Captain Obvious. What's that?
A list.
A list of?
Names. Victims.
As in the physicist victims?
Yeah. All the ones that are dead have been crossed out. Even Irene Adler.
Jackson, if the ones that aren't crossed out, if they're the next physicist victims, then we need to report this.
But it's in Brooks' handwriting.
If she has anything to do with this, we need to arrest her.
I mean, I know I said that she was kind of impeding the investigation, but I don't think she's a killer.
We have to arrest her. This could be enough evidence to convict. Don't touch that. It could be contaminated.
Okay. Cooper, I'm not so sure about this. She's our friend.
It doesn't matter.
But...
Jackson, you're too soft-hearted. You can't let your feelings get in the way of this case. You asked me to finish it, and that's what I'm going to do. Brooks, I'm gonna have to ask you to put the scissors down.
Why?
Put the scissors down. I'm sorry I have to do this, but Lily Brooks, you're under arrest for the murder of 5 known victims. Oh.
Hey.
Hey. I guess this is goodbye then.
Yeah, I guess so.
I had some of my best memories here. So, I guess... bye then. That'll do, pig. That'll do.
Can I help you?
I'm Nikki Smith, your new partner.
Yeah, about time they sent me a new one. Go sit down.
Okay. Is that the Physicist case?
Yeah, tying up the loose ends on the case so I can send it to the FBI. Hugh's been hounding me for it, but the people at the lab took 6 days to send the data. Brooks could have done it in 1.
That's her, right? The one they arrested?
We don't make accusations here. We only gather data. That's all.
So last one, how did she die? I looked into it. I read about the others. They
died of electrocution, lasers, parasites. I mean, she really thought of it all.
Look, kid, if you're gonna ask me a question, then shut up and listen. She died of fission. A few atoms in her brain splits, and bada bing, bada boom, the rest of her brain is mush. It happens in bombs usually, but it was on a tiny scale.
I thought fission is when lighter atoms combine to make heavier ones. You know, like when stars do?
You're thinking of fusion. Look, kid, why don't you go make yourself useful and get some coffee, alright?
Mrs. Jackson, Mrs. Jackson.
You don't have to yell, I'm right here.
But Hodge.
Hugh?
Hugh.
Look, kid, I don't have time for this nonsense. You better spit it out.
But the physicist. There's another murder.
Get your stuff, we're leaving. Yep, no doubt about it. That was the physicist. Left the card and everything. You go on back to the office. I'm gonna talk to someone. Brooks is in here, so.
You're blocking my light, love.
Cooper.
Look, I don't need a date and I don't want to buy you a drink, okay?
Damn it, Cooper, you know who I am.
You know that the photoelectric effect is the ejection of electrons from an incident of electromagnetic radiation? You see it every time light bounces off something shiny.
I want you back on the case.
Also, strong atomic forces are responsible for keeping a nucleus together despite all the positive protons being pushed together. And weak atomic forces are responsible for atomic decay.
Swear to God.
Einstein discovered that the mass-energy equivalence is the concept that body of mass is a measure of its energy content.
If you don't stop rambling.
Another fun fact, we know the composition of the sun based on the pattern of absorption lines in its spectrum.
Cooper, you're gonna listen and you're gonna listen to me right now. Do you understand? You put Brooks in jail, there's been another killing, and now you're gonna help me get her out. If your ass isn't in my truck in 5 seconds, I'm gonna drag you kicking and screaming out of here. I swear to God.
Alright, you got me back on the case. Now what?
Well, our victim is Mike Stanford, early 20s, no correlation with any of the other victims.
I meant about how he died. I know there's no pattern, we've discussed this.
Yes, well, I don't know anything. And without Brooks around, none of us do. We'll be in our graves before those lab technicians can tell us anything useful.
Are you just gonna dangle that over my head this entire case? Well anyway, we need to go see Dr. Hugh, in case he has any new leads for us. Dr. Hugh?
Come in.
I apologize, sir, but we're running kind of low on our leads for this physicist case. We were wondering if you had anything new.
Cooper. I thought you'd quit.
I'm back on the case, at least until we catch the physicist.
Not unless I say you are.
Well, am I back on the case?
You are the best man for the job. You might be able to catch this guy. Yeah, I'll put you back on the case. But only temporarily, then you're gone. If you don't catch him in the next 24 hours, I want your badge. Seems our physicist was playing with heat this time.
As in temperature and stuff?
No, not temperature. Gosh. Simply a measure of heat. It's a change of internal energy. Temperature has to do with heat.
Well, that's good and all, but how does this help us with the case?
I said it's a change in energy. Therefore, the victim was basically cooked alive and very fast. It required a massive amount of energy. I printed a few locations. The energy spiked suspiciously during the time we assumed he was murdered. So take a look at that.
All right, let's get to it.
I don't think this is the place. Honestly, I don't see how he could work out of something so small. It doesn't ring right.
Sounds about right. Anyway, I'm gonna go talk to Dr. Hugh. I have a question to ask him.
Alright, I'm gonna take the next place on the list.
I'll call you when I'm done.
Alright. This is Jackson.
Hey, this is Brooks. I just got out of jail. Are there more bodies? Nobody would tell me anything.
Brooks, gosh, I didn't think I'd hear from you so soon. But yeah, I'm at 314 Durst Drive. Do you want to come out and help me?
Isn't that a college though? What could be there?
Just get here. I'll explain it later. So you weren't kidding about just getting out of jail, huh?
Yeah, I just wanted to get it right back to the case, so I didn't bother changing.
Well, they found another body, which is why I guess they let you out. They're probably still pretty suspicious of you, though.
That isn't important to me. Just tell me more about the case.
Alright. Well, there's been, like I said, one more body. I went to see Hughes, and he was telling me that it was basically cooked alive. And it was done very quickly, and so it would have required a lot of energy, which is why I gave you this, those are all the addresses of the most recent power surges in the area.
I wish I had got to examine the body. This just seems like a wild goose chase, but not the good kind where you get a goose at the end.
Well, it's internal energy, I guess. You have to have a lot in a living body of mass, and in order to cook it that quickly, it causes power. It needs power, I mean.
Did you get to see the body?
Yeah, why?
Did it look cooked?
Yeah, a little, I guess, but I didn't examine it. I immediately went to find Cooper.
So he's back on the case?
Yeah, but Dr. Hughes is being pretty hard on him. I mean, he said if we don't catch the physicist within the next 24 hours, Cooper's got to hand in his badge.
Jackson, you do realize what's going on here, right?
What? What do you mean?
How long does it take to cook an entire Thanksgiving turkey?
What? I don't see how this is...
Jackson, focus and answer the question.
8 hours, I guess? I don't know. Why?
The victim was cooked slowly, unless he was black and crispy, missing all of his hair and possibly some fingers, and the physicist took his time. To cook an entire human body like that slowly, it doesn't take a lot of energy. All you need is an oven with enough space and possibly some marinade, but that's beside the point. Look, entropy, heat absorbed or emitted, isn't a hard concept. It doesn't decrease, only increase by both natural and human process like evaporation, or in our case, cooking. Just because a body is a large object doesn't mean it's not possible, it just takes time.
Yes, I know thermodynamics. Energy can't be created or destroyed, and it's always changing and being exchanged because of that. What does this have to do with our case, though? I don't see how it changes anything. So what if the body was cooked slowly? These energy spikes are still suspicious. Considering our killer has been using electricity and lasers, we still need to check these out.
I just got a really bad feeling about this entire thing.
Why don't we just go see what Cooper's up to then? He said he had a hunch about something. We'll go back with him and see if we can't compare notes and figure out what's wrong here.
Dr. Hugh?
Oh. This is unexpected.
Step away from the body.
She's not dead yet, but she soon will be. This probably looks like hair product, but it's not. You know what it is? It's bacteria. A special type of bacteria that'll eat through skin, bone, everything. It's my project. I have lots of projects.
Dr. Hugh, put the vial down and step away from the girl.
It's very precise, given the right conditions. Tell me, you want to play a game? A little game of catch.
I'm only going to ask you once more. Put the vial down.
Well, here's the thing. If this hits the ground and breaks, we all die. And it's a slow, slow death. But if you catch it, you save your life and her life. And even mine. It's called irony.
It's gonna be so different working here without you, Jackson.
Yeah, I know, it's gonna be weird without you guys there too, but I can't exactly turn the FBI down, not when their offer is so generous and not when it's the job I've been looking for.
Brooks, you should join her. The FBI could use someone like you.
No, I have to stay here and keep an eye on you, Mr. Director of our department. I can't let the star who found out the physicist's identity making a fool out of himself.
I can handle myself, thank you very much, even though I lost my sunglasses.
How are you gonna be dramatic without your sunglasses?
It's alright, Coop, we know you're capable. Just put the case out of your mind for a little while. It's gone cold, but it'll pick up again.
Come on, guys, this is a celebration for your promotion. Put all the murders and stuff behind us. Happy times now. Well, blood and guts are fascinating to me, so I wouldn't really mind if we continued in this direction.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna miss you guys too. So no awkward goodbyes this time. None.
Shush, guys. Happy times now. Happy times.
Cooper, I hope this letter finds you well. You've got so much more to learn though, and I've got so much more to teach you. Your friend, the physicist.
What you want, what you want. Come on. What you want, what you want. Come on. Come on.